In the beginning, there was silence, not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything that had yet to be spoken, and from this silence they came. The clay tablets lay scattered across the ancient chamber, their cuneiform script glowing faintly in the flickering torchlight. Dr. Elena Vasquez knelt beside them, her trembling fingers hovering over symbols that shouldn't exist, couldn't exist. Yet here they were, defying everything she thought she knew about human history. "The Anunnaki," she whispered, her voice barely audible in the tomb's oppressive stillness. "But this changes everything we believe about them." For decades, scholars had dismissed the ancient Sumerian texts as mythology, elaborate stories created by primitive minds trying to explain their world. The Anunnaki were gods, nothing more than fictional beings born from humanity's need to understand the incomprehensible. But these tablets, hidden beneath layers of sand and time in a forgotten chamber beneath Eridu, told a different story entirely. Eleanor had spent her life searching for truth in the fragments of the past. An archaeologist by training, a mystic by nature, she had always felt drawn to the spaces between fact and legend, where whispers of deeper truths echoed through the corridors of time. Her colleagues called her obsessive, even reckless, but something had always called to her from the ancient world, a voice speaking in languages she had never learned but somehow understood. The expedition that led her here began with a dream. Night after night, she saw the same vision. A woman in white robes standing before a great ziggurat, holding a tablet covered in symbols that seemed to move and shift like living things. The woman's eyes held a sadness so profound it made Elena wake with tears on her cheeks. In the dream, the woman would always say the same words. They were not gods. They were not myths. They were family. Following the coordinates that had come to her in meditation, Elena's team had uncovered this hidden chamber. Her colleagues had returned to base camp hours ago, exhausted and frustrated by what they saw as another dead end. But Elena remained, drawn by an irresistible pull she couldn't name or explain. Now, as she studied the tablets by torchlight, the symbols began to arrange themselves in her mind like pieces of a cosmic puzzle. The story they told was both beautiful and terrifying, a truth so profound it shook the very foundations of human understanding. The Anunnaki were not gods who created humanity. They were not aliens who descended from the stars to manipulate genetic codes and build civilizations. They were something far more intimate, far more heartbreaking. They were the children of Earth who had been forgotten by time itself. According to the tablets, long before recorded history, humanity had evolved not once, but twice. The first civilization had achieved heights of consciousness and technology that made modern achievements seem like children's toys. They had learned to transcend the physical realm while maintaining their connection to it, becoming beings of pure light and love who could manifest matter through will alone. But with great power came great responsibility, and not all of humanity was ready for such gifts. A schism occurred, dividing the evolved humans into two groups, those who chose to ascend to higher dimensions to guide and protect their less evolved siblings from afar, and those who chose to remain in the physical realm to serve as bridges between worlds. The ascended ones became known as the Anunnaki, not aliens from the planet Nibiru, but humanity's own elder siblings who had moved beyond the veil of physical reality. They appeared to later civilizations as gods because their consciousness operated on levels that seemed divine to those still bound by material limitations. From flesh to light, from light to love, from love to service eternal. Elena read aloud, her voice growing stronger as the implications became clear. We who were once as you are now watch over you, who are as we once were. The circle completes itself through compassion, and the children of Earth shall remember their divine heritage when the time of awakening comes. The chamber seemed to pulse with energy as she spoke the ancient words. The torchlight flickered, casting dancing shadows on the walls, covered in murals that now made perfect sense. They didn't depict alien visitors or supernatural gods, but showed the evolutionary journey of consciousness itself, the path from human to divine that was always meant to be humanity's destiny. Elena felt tears streaming down her face as she understood the profound tragedy recorded in these texts. Humanity had forgotten its own divine nature, had relegated its ascended family to mythology and fantasy. The very beings who loved humanity most deeply had been dismissed as fiction, their guidance ignored, their messages lost in translation across millennia. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our content. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from. We would love to know. As Elena continued reading, the tablets revealed even deeper truths. The Anunnaki had not abandoned humanity, but had been working tirelessly across the ages to prepare for a time of great awakening. Every myth, every legend, every story of divine intervention was actually a record of their continuous attempts to communicate with their earthbound siblings. The ancient mystery schools, the secret teachings of the Gnostics, the wisdom traditions of every culture on Earth, all were fragments of a greater truth that the Anunnaki had been trying to share. They spoke through dreams, through symbols, through the hearts of mystics and visionaries who could still hear their voice across the dimensional divide. But there was a warning in the tablets as well. The time of awakening was approaching, a moment when the veil between worlds would thin enough for direct communication to resume. Humanity would face a choice: to embrace its divine heritage and join its ascended family in consciousness, or to reject the truth and remain trapped in cycles of suffering and limitation. The children of Earth stand at the threshold, Elena read, her voice trembling with emotion. They who remember their divine origin shall ascend. They who cling to the illusion of separation shall remain. But know this: love never abandons love, and we who have gone before await with infinite patience for our family to come home. The chamber fell silent, except for the soft sound of Elena's breathing. She sat back on her heels, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what she had discovered. This wasn't just archaeological evidence. It was a love letter written across time itself, a message from humanity's ascended family to their earthbound siblings. As she prepared to leave the chamber, Elena noticed one final tablet, smaller than the others, and placed deliberately apart. With shaking hands, she lifted it, reading the message inscribed in symbols that seemed to glow with their own inner light. For she who seeks truth with an open heart, know that you have always been guided by those who love you beyond measure. The awakening begins with one who remembers, spreads to many who listen, and transforms all who choose love over fear. You are not alone. You have never been alone. The circle is closing, dear sister, and soon all shall be revealed. Elena's breath caught in her throat as she realized the tablet was warm to the touch, as if it had been waiting centuries for her specifically to find it. The symbols at the bottom were different from the others, not Sumerian but somehow familiar, as if she had seen them in dreams or distant memories. As she traced the symbols with her finger, images flooded her mind. Vast cities of light, beings of incomparable beauty and wisdom, a love so pure and infinite that it made her weep with joy. She saw herself not as Dr. Elena Vasquez, archaeologist and scholar, but as something far greater, a soul on a mission to help bridge worlds and awaken hearts. The vision faded, leaving her alone in the chamber with a profound sense of purpose. She carefully gathered the tablets, knowing that sharing this discovery would change everything. Some would dismiss it as fantasy, others would attack it as heresy, but those ready to hear the truth would recognize the voice of love speaking across the ages. As Elena emerged from the underground chamber, the first rays of dawn were painting the desert sky in shades of gold and rose. She stood in the ancient landscape, holding proof that humanity was not alone, had never been alone, and was deeply loved by family that transcended the boundaries of physical reality. The Anunnaki mystery was solved, but it was not the solution anyone had expected. They were not gods from another world, but gods from this world who had evolved beyond physical limitations, while maintaining eternal bonds of love with those still on the journey of awakening. In her heart, Elena heard a whisper, gentle as morning wind, "Welcome home, dear sister. The work begins now." She smiled through her tears, understanding finally that she had not discovered the truth about the Anunnaki. She had discovered the truth about herself, about all of humanity, about the divine family waiting with infinite patience for the children of Earth to remember who they really were. And if you liked this story, you will definitely love the next one that's appearing on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave your like, and activate the notifications. See you in the next one.